All right. The Nobody's Watching podcast, episode 2. Where to start? So, first of all, it's been maybe 3 or 4 days since I put out the first episode of the podcast. And I was kind of surprised that anyone watched it at all, to be honest with you. I was fully expecting to get 0 views. And let me see if I can pull up the numbers here. But, yeah, as a recording, I think it has like 25 views, which again, I mean, it's not groundbreaking numbers, but hey, again, I was expecting to get 0 views. I was like, I'm probably going to do this for like 2 weeks, get a collective 10 views across 10 videos, and fucking decide to quit. So, already doing better than I ever thought I would. So I guess that's good. And so thank you for anyone who watched, even if it was for just like 2 minutes, right? At least it's something. It was encouraging, I guess, which is always good. Hopefully, I think I originally said I was going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I think, well, this has been a hectic couple of days, and I'll get into that, but I think, we'll just say 3 days a week, whether that's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, I don't know. I'm going to do 3 episodes every calendar week. With that said, I am going on vacation like Saturday, so I'm going to still try and do the episodes, but they might be shorter until I'm, in a more regular environment. But whatever, programming note over. Boys have been going through it. I've been fucked up, I was driving to go get my haircut, which I did eventually get, but I was driving to go get my haircut and my fucking car died in the middle of the road. I'm on a fucking like highway. I'm driving along. I'm like accelerating. Nothing crazy is going on. There's no signs that anything was drastically wrong. Like, it felt a little weird, but I was like, my car was old. It was like 15 years old or something like that. It was like it's a 2012 Chevy Impala. A noble steed, dude. A noble steed. Now dead, probably dead. I was literally driving down the highway, or a small highway at least, and just all of a sudden, boom, engine turns off, lose power steering, lose power braking. Disaster, dude. I'm in the middle of a fucking busy ass road with cars all around me, and I'm a boat with no sails, dude. I got nothing. I got no go. Right. So I get it over to the side of the road, get the car going, and get it to my mechanic, and I'm just like sitting there like, I can't fucking believe that happened. And this morning I get a call from my mechanic, and my transmission is shot. Tough. The repair was going to be more than I paid for the car. I bought it a couple of years ago. Fucking, I'm ruined, dude. I'm financially ruined. It's either I pay $9,000 to replace a transmission in a 15-year-old car or whatever. I think it was 2010, so 15-year-old car, or I buy a relatively new but used vehicle, like a 3-year-old whatever. I'm fucking financially ruined, dude. I had some savings, but I mean, I don't make a ton of money, so like I'm fucked. All this to say, I need you boys to start listening. I need that podcast money if I'm gonna get a fucking new car. Devastating loss. I loved that car. The first car I bought with my own money. That wasn't like my parents that they just let me drive. So sad. Charlemagne, a king. Such a piece of shit, dude. 15-year-old gold Chevy Impala. First of all, I'm sure everyone was shocked that it wasn't like a black dude driving that car. It was my white ass. And named Charlemagne. It was a noble steed. It served me well. Died just before it crossed the 100,000 mile mark. Sucks. It was like literally 99,990 or something like that. It was close. Sucks. I brought it into the shop like I don't know, a month or 2 ago, and got like I was having battery issues, so they changed the batteries, changed the oil, and they gave it a clean bill of health. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, your transmission is absolutely fucked. Like, how did you not notice that?" And I'm like, I hadn't even driven it that much. I'm like, how the fuck did you not notice that? This was here like a month ago. What the fuck? So anyway, R.I.P. to Charlemagne, a dead king. Tough. I named him after King Charlemagne of the Holy Roman Empire. He was also an interesting cat, but we can get into that a little later. Actually, no, let's get into it right now. Fuck it. He was it was kind of interesting. I'm a history guy. I majored in history in college. Waste of money. Absolute waste of money, dude. I don't know why anyone let me do that. Who the fuck's gonna hire a history major to do anything, right? Whatever. I mean, I've got a job now, so I guess the degree doesn't matter much. But anyway, so like post Roman Empire, everyone wanted to claim to be like the heir of Rome, right? Like everyone, like when I say the Roman Empire, because a bunch of people said they were the Roman Empire after the fact, like Charlemagne did. He called his empire, which was essentially just like Germany, France, and like northern Italy, the Holy Roman Empire. But Caesar's Rome, the Rome that you think of, like the legions and all that shit, when that ended, I think it lasted for like 700 years ish. Like everyone in Europe, every ruler in Europe wanted to be like, oh, I'm the heir of Rome, right? So Charlemagne, wanting to do the same, proclaimed himself the Holy Roman Empire, and there's a theory out there that I forget what the theory is necessarily called, but I can describe it for you now. Basically, to like legitimize his claim, the theory is that he had his like nobles and historians, because the historians back then were just like nobles. They were just like dudes who were just interested, right? There wasn't like a profession of history. It was just like educated dudes who wanted to know what the past was like, essentially. So the theory is that he went to like those people and was like, oh, by the way, it's the year 1000 right now. It is now the year 1000 because the theory is he wanted to say, oh, in the 1000th year, the Roman Empire returned, right? In the 1000th year after Christ, the Roman Empire returned, which I thought was interesting, right? The theory goes that the estimated time skipped by him, like kind of moving the dates around to legitimize his claim a little bit, was like 270-ish years, right? Which makes sense in a way because they say like the Dark Ages, which was they estimate to be like 300 to like 600, like there's like a ginormous like missing gap in the history, right? And so that kind of coincides with the theory where like he just moved the timeline up a couple hundred years, and to legitimize his claim, and then that kind of gets explained away by the Dark Ages. Oh well, nothing happened. Everyone was inside. It was a mini ice age, which it was, but yeah. And I also noticed that like no progress was made in that 300-year span. Like a bunch of buildings that were in construction before the Dark Ages started didn't finish for like several hundred years, right? So I thought that was interesting. And also, that would essentially mean that the real year is like 17. Yeah, it would be like 1820 right now, if that theory was right. Probably even earlier than that, but I'm not doing the math. Look at me, dude. I'm wearing sunglasses. It's nighttime. I'm not smart. I can't do math right now, dude. My car died. I'm financially ruined. I'm bad with numbers, clearly. I'm financially ruined, dude. I'm fucked. I was supposed to drive to New Jersey on Saturday in that car. Going on vacation, like I said. So I'm driving back to New Jersey to kind of meet up with my family. Then we're going. Disaster. Disaster strikes, dude. What can go wrong will go wrong. And at least it didn't happen when I was on the road. That would fucking suck to be in like Richmond, Virginia with a dead car, Tough. Tough. R.I.P. Charlemagne, the king. May have fucked up the timeline. A noble steed. Served me well. Tough. So that's why I didn't do an episode yesterday. I was freaking out because like I said, I'm ruined. But I did get my hair cut, and it kind of was a weird situation. Like, I'd never seen this kind of shit before. Like, where I'm from, up north, like, there's a barber shop. It's a storefront. You just go in. There's maybe a couple barbers at some chairs, and that's like it. This place was like weird. It was like a giant building that had like these like 10 by 10 like stalls that had their own little businesses in it. It was like kind of weird. It took me forever to find my fucking guy, but I get there and I'm like 5 minutes late. So I'm like, oh, this guy's probably maybe he might be like a prick about it because there's a whole bunch of text that went out when I signed up for the appointment. And there's a woman in there that he is clearly trying to fuck. Clearly trying to fuck. The door, it's like a sliding glass door. It's cracked a little bit. I can hear him trying to spit game, and she's just not into it. She's just not into it. My guy Rondell was just fucking striking out with this girl. It's tough. He like bought her like Starbucks and shit. He's like trying to spit game, and I'm like cringing. Not that I'm like any kind of not that I'm any kind of player, but it's just so. I would hate to have someone just overhear me trying to spit game, dude. That is the most vulnerable shit of all time. Or you see it sometimes when like texts get leaked, right? Like I think like Adam Levine was like the best example of that. Like he was sending like horny texts. Dude, that is the fucking worst. That is the fucking worst thing I could imagine, dude. Being privately horny, getting exposed, must be the worst thing of all time. So embarrassing, because like you're just so not thinking straight, right? Like Adam Levine, he's like fucking like messaging some girl on Instagram. Adam Levine can go walk into any bar and pick up the hottest woman in there. You know what I mean? He's not thinking straight. He's not thinking straight. What was it? It was like, it's like, oh my god, your body, or something like that. It was just so embarrassing. And that's kind of like the vibe I was getting standing outside this dude's door. It was just like, oh no, dude, don't say that. Like, dude, no. Rondell. Then he was like, I walked in and you just see like Nipsey Hussle on the wall on like a poster and shit. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, how do you pronounce your name, man? My name's Ben. Full name Benjamin. He's like, I've never seen that before. And I was like, oh shit, like this is probably bad to say. I was like, this guy probably doesn't know how to fucking. This guy might not know how to cut white hair. That was like a legit thought I had. I was like, should I like abort right now? I don't know if this guy cuts white dudes' hairs. Not that I do anything fucking crazy. I literally just get it short and do a fade on the sides and leave it on top. And he did a good job, in fairness. So prejudice unwarranted. And he was cool. Fucking weird experience though. Just so weird. She that lady was just so not into it. She was like, I just overheard at one point. She was like, the Starbucks was a bit much. Like that's kind of weird, dude. And he's like, no, come on, baby. All this shit, trying to spit game, dude, and it's not working. It was fucking man. I excuse that kind of shit myself because I'm like hammered, right? To try to spit game like that sober, and it just not working, just not taking, no bites at all. You're casting the line. There's no bites. Brutal, absolutely fucking brutal, dude. Absolutely fucking brutal. But yeah, so I don't look as ratty anymore. My hairline is still receding, so there's just nothing I can do about that. So I'm probably still gonna have some tough looks from time to time. What can you do? What can you do? I do have this family vacation though coming up, which is always funny because it's like we go up to my like cousin's house, right? So it's like my two cousins, my aunt because she got divorced, tough. And it's always the first night it's always like a little wholesome. It's like, oh my god, we're all together, all that shit. I don't do that shit. I'm too cool for that bullshit. Come on. And then like it just quickly devolves into us getting absolutely hammered and just talking crazy shit about everybody. You know what I mean? It's so funny. Just all sitting there like, oh my god, I haven't seen our cousins in so long. She's a fucking bitch. I can't believe she said that shit. So that should be fucking interesting. I'll probably do a pod from there, part or two, maybe even bring someone on. I didn't tell anyone I've started doing this. I'm one of those dudes. I've been talking about doing a podcast for like fucking 10 years. Just never did it. So I was too embarrassed to tell anyone that actually had done it, which is again why I was kind of surprised I got any views at all on the first. Again, even if it was like cumulative like 20 minutes of watch time, who gives a fuck, dude? It's the first video I ever put out. I don't follow the motherfucker, but I did see him say in a video, Mr. Beast, this, I'm burying the lead, dude. This is why I'm not a professional podcaster. This is why I don't make money. This is why I'm financially ruined. I did see Mr. Beast say in a video, like, your first video is just gonna suck. No one's gonna watch it. Fuck it. So, and as you can see, I've gotten no better. I mean, maybe I'm a little better on the talking end, but I'm still literally just using like the laptop camera recorder. Like, I don't know how to edit. I have zero equipment. My fucking my like banner page picture and profile picture are like AI fucking ChatGPT generated. They're the most generic looking things of all time. So, fuck it, right? Fuck it. If you guys like it, if anyone actually makes it this far into the episode and is like, I like this guy, and you know how to like do shit with YouTube, send me a message, comment, do something, reach me somehow, and just tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong. Obviously, I know at some point I'm gonna have to learn how to edit. That's not right now, though, dude. I'm financially ruined. I don't have time for that. No, I'm joking. I'll eventually learn, or I'll pay someone to do it when I'm not financially ruined. I'm gonna miss that car. As you can tell, I spent the first 10 minutes talking about it. Anyway, I'll leave it at that, dude. What else is going on? All the sports are done, dude. It's fucking. This is the worst time of year for. I shouldn't say that, dude. It's fucking June. This is a great time of year. It's summer. I'm being dramatic. I only say that because sports are pretty much done. There's like baseball, and that's it. Baseball is so boring. I try to get into it every year. Every year, I'm like, I'm gonna really follow the Yankees, right? That's the team I grew up liking. As an adult, though, I'm like I said this to my older brother. I was just like, it feels so gay to root for the Yankees, I root for underdogs, generally speaking. Like, I'm a fucking Brooklyn Nets fan. They're the worst franchise in sports. But in the running for it, I mean, it's like the Jets, the Nets. I mean, yeah, I mean, those are kind of it. I root for the Giants, so I've saved myself from that misery. Not quite a front running team. They've been bad lately, but I mean, they've won Super Bowls, so can't complain really about them. I'm excited about the G-Men, boys. Excited. Although, I can't tell if I am high on Jackson Dart or I don't like him. I see him play, and I'm like, this guy could be great, right? He's got a little Josh Allen in him. He's a little reckless. He's got a strong arm. He's gonna bomb it downfield. He runs. He's big. He's white. No. Dude, I'd love to have an athletic black quarterback. But instead, we got a bunch of just old men and white dudes. But yeah, he has shades of Josh Allen. They said that shit about Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is. I mean, I didn't like the way they got rid of him, but I mean, you never want to see it go down like that mid-season, or the way it did with Daniel Jones. But I mean, that was just so hard to watch. That was just such a bad product to watch, dude. It sucked. But so far, I mean, I'm hot and cold on Jackson Dart. I did see him. He had like a fucking like weird shirt on under his fucking uniform. His like a turtleneck. Full sleeve on one arm. Never seen that on a quarterback before. Full sleeve in the summer. No sleeve on that side. What are we doing? This ain't fashion. And it was on his left, which makes me a little worried. It's like, is he a fucking lefty and I just didn't realize it? Lefty quarterbacks can't be good. Look, I mean, Tua was okay, but I mean, he gets concussed every 3 seconds. Does the fucking gang signs when he gets knocked out. Yeah. But the D-line, bro. The D-line. The Giants are the most successful team that I have watched, that I've rooted for. They won 2 Super Bowls. The last 10 years have been bad. Fine. But those Super Bowls were won on the backs of a fucking scary defensive line, which they now have. So I'm excited about that. They're gonna. I would hope wreak havoc this upcoming season. And I say all this to say sports are gone until the fall, and I'm miserable about it. I have several times in the last week or two stepped outside my door. It's hot here. I live in North Carolina. It's a little muggy, dude. It's humid. It's hot. You walk outside, it's like you're like walking through soup, right? And I take a deep inhale. I'm like, dude, I can't fucking wait for football. Can't fucking wait for football. I'm shouting. My fucking neighbor probably hates me. Can't fucking wait for football, dude. It's the best sport. It's just the best sport. Anyway, what else has been going on? I don't want to touch politics. I was about to bring up fucking Iran, but it's all fucking fake. It's all fucking fake. No one knows what the fuck is true. Everyone just says shit. Everyone reads something off of some account that they don't follow and don't recognize, and then just take it as fact. And then they go on big podcasts and they reference it without checking, and no one can get to the bottom of it. There are no facts. It's impossible. It's just like it's boring because there's like no truth. There are no facts. Douglas Murray will come to the table with facts. Dave Smith will come to the table with facts, and you can't get anywhere. You can't get anywhere. They both come with facts that support their argument, and there's no conclusion to come to. There's no progress to be made in the conversation. So why the fuck am I supposed to care? Nothing happens. Nothing changes. They all get on these podcasts and they all fucking go at each other and they reference this memo, that memo. They're like, I was there, as Douglas Murray said, pretentiously. And nothing fucking happens. Nothing fucking changes. And it's like, why do I care then? Why do I care then? I should probably keep my whole face in frame. Sorry, guys. Why do I care then? You know, and then they all go on other they have it out, and they go on other podcasts and they relitigate it when the other person isn't there. It's like, come on, dude. Who fucking it's just gay. It's just gay. It's queefy. They all queef on each other. It's fucking stupid. Although I will say Trump is the only one that can keep it entertaining because he kind of generates his own news. You know, the rest of them are all commentators. So they're like feasting on what's out there, right? They're not bringing anything actually new to the table, right? They're not introducing new things. They're just talking about what's out. Trump actually does drive conversation. And it hasn't been the best couple weeks for Trump. But when he was just they don't know what the fuck they're talking about Israel and Iran, he's like, they've been fighting for so long, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's hilarious, first of all. Second of all, he doesn't usually curse like that, which I thought was interesting. He's, I think, usually pretty calculated on that. Even on podcasts, he didn't do that. And it's also always funny to me. I don't remember if I brought this up in the last pod, but he just has a gaggle of reporters on Air Force One. It's just so weird. How many videos come out on X or Twitter of him just in this doorway on Air Force One as reporters shout questions at him. What a sad life that must be. I'm financially ruined. I have no car. I'm financially ruined. My golf clubs are in a fucking car on a lot somewhere. What a sad life it must be to be one of the reporters who just sit quietly on Air Force One. They have their little fucking bag of pretzels that's complimentary on the flight, and they just wait for Trump Dog to come through that door. They just wait for the man to come through so they can feast, dude. So they can fucking suckle at his teat. It's ridiculous. It's just so the whole industry, that whole journalist reporting industry, is just so weird. dude. Like, at least, like, I can understand being, like, a White House correspondent, right? Because it's, like, at least theoretically back in the day, right? There was, like, something, you were on the beat a little bit. You were on the beat. You were trying to, like, generate stories, or, like, kind of report to the world. But now that, like, you can just, like, everyone sees clips. Like, it's, like, kind of a useless fucking job. And to be a motherfucker on the plane, just waiting, quietly waiting, with you and your other fucking the other 10 dildos who actually signed up to do this shit, waiting for Trump Dog to fucking bust through those doors to shred you for fucking 5 minutes, because he's not coming out there to, like, actually answer your questions. He's stepping out there to shred you, which is smart, because it's like, he just dominates. Like he steps out, they start trying to get him with some bullshit, and he just like unloads. He just empties the clip. He waxes all those motherfuckers, and then goes back into the fucking meeting room or whatever. It's such a strange time, because I don't remember any other like, I feel like I hardly heard. I guess this has been the thing they say about Trump, but, like, you never heard from Obama. You heard from Biden because everyone was convinced there was shit going on about Biden, and they were probably right. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen, like, tall Biden. Like, all of a sudden there was, like, just, like, a Biden that was, like, 6'8". It's like, Joe Biden, he's not short, but he's not fucking 6'8", and certainly didn't grow 4 inches when he was 82 years old or whatever. It's just funny. I say I didn't want to talk politics. Well, I guess I'm talking about the politics world, not politics specifically, if that makes any sense. The world around it. Let's get off this bullshit, dude. Cast him for 30 minutes, dude. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at talking, I think. I have been thinking recently about, this is a different topic, about, like, moments of, like, perfect expression. You know what I mean? Like, a good example, one I saw on, like, the most recent, like, Protect Our Parks with Joe Rogan, Shane Gillis, Mark Norman, and Ari Shaffir. They were listening to Elvis's Unchained Melody in Memphis, right? And Elvis is one of those guys that I just was like I hadn't listened to more than 4 minutes of his music, and felt like I could already tell you exactly what his music was about and what his music was like, and just kind of wrote him off. I was kind of a hater without ever listening, and not that I've listened much anymore, but this video kind of changed my mind a little bit. He was clearly pilled out of his fucking mind on stage. Like, he's sitting at this piano, he's got the whole getup on, the coif, all that shit, and he's just like, he's sitting there at the piano, he's kind of fumbling with the keys, he's kind of mumbling, like, it doesn't sound good. Like, if I were someone, obviously watching it now, like, I know what's going on, but if I was someone sitting in the crowd there, I'd be like, what the fuck is this, dude? He's, like, pressing just random keys, it sounds like. He's like, just mumbling into the microphone in front of, like, seemingly thousands of people. And and all of a sudden he just, like, snaps together, right? It's just like, you just see him, like, come alive, and all of a sudden the piano, like, the notes are coming together correctly, and he's singing this song, Unchained Melody, which I don't think is his song, but I think it became one of the things he was, like, known for, I guess. And I think this was, like, the first time he ever performed it live. Like, no one had ever heard him perform this. And again, it's something he's now known for, I believe. And he gets to the end of the song and he hits this, like, high note where he's like belting, he's, like, shaking, he's, like, exerting himself so hard, he's red, he's sweaty, all this shit, and it sounds fucking incredible. And again, from a guy who not but 2 minutes ago was fucking, like, dead at the piano. And you just hear it, and, like, I got chills listening to that shit. Like, another good example of these, like, moments of ultimate expression is, like, was Freddie Mercury, 1981, Somebody to Love. Right? I like Queen. I don't love them. right? I think obviously, like Freddie Mercury's talent is obvious to anyone who listens to any of their songs. But like you're just seeing a guy pre-AIDS, probably. You're seeing a guy who just was at like the peak of their ability, and it's like so compelling. You know, he's like sitting at the piano, and kind of like Elvis, not quite. You know, he didn't look pilled out like Elvis did. He didn't. He wasn't like gacked. Um, he's sitting there. He's feeling himself at the piano a little bit, kind of going through it. I think you kind of know what song's coming based on what he's saying a little bit, like kind of half singing, half saying. Again, kind of feeling himself, and he just spikes the camera, just looks directly into the lens, winks, and then belts out maybe the best rendition of any song I've ever heard in my life, dude. So good. I'm usually not like a live performance guy. I think 9 times out of 10, if you're just listening to the music, you're better off listening to the studio version 9 times out of 10 because it's just better. It's just how the song is intended to be heard, right? Occasionally there are live performances that like exceed everything, right? And that's not to say I don't think you should go see music live, but if you're watching like a concert from like 1982 because you want to hear Freebird, it's like just go listen to Freebird. You know what I mean? The studio version is better than like the live, probably. I think at least. Maybe that's my own OCD brain. I want it to be the same every time I hear it. Um, but yeah, it's just incredible, right? And you're listening to this, you're like, this guy is clearly at like his peak, the peak of his ability, and it's just so compelling. And I'm like watching that, I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like I need to find whatever that is for me, right? I just been like obsessed with those moments. It's like when Pavarotti, right, the opera singer. I don't fucking like opera. I don't like classical music. He sings, I don't know, whatever the famous one is, and he hits this high note and he's holding it, and it's just like perfect. Again, I get chills. And I'm like, holy, like this is insane. This guy's incredible. You know, he's incredible. He's like one of one, and you're watching like the peak of his ability. You know, and it's not like all three guys that just listed were all singers, but certainly they're not. It's not like necessarily limited to that. Like, I would say you can go back and watch the Michael Jordan games from like the late 80s, early 90s. You're watching a master at the peak of his ability, perfection on the court practically. Sure, he misses some shots, so does everybody. But aside from that, he's perfect. And it's like crazy. It's crazy to watch, man. It's I guess it's why people like this shit. It's like it's inspiring. Like I want to do it. All that shit. Like Gordon Ramsay, for example, or I guess cooking. The example that comes to mind is Gordon Ramsay. I'm sure Gordon Ramsay on any given day, because there's moments, right? You can't have this for your whole career. You capture it in a moment, and if you're lucky, it gets recorded like it did for Freddie Mercury, right? But a guy like, say, in cooking, it's kind of a different medium, obviously, definitely a different medium, obviously. Gordon Ramsay, like, on any given day, he's a great chef, I'm sure. An amazing chef, right? But I bet there was a time when his restaurant was, like, just opening or had just opened, and he was grinding, and he was trying to make it. He's in the kitchen every single day, perfecting his shit, right? Like, perfecting his craft. Perfecting, I think, is like his signature dish is the beef Wellington, right? And I bet there was a time where he was just at the peak of his ability. And it's like to be able to pull a moment like that out is, I think, is what we live for. I think if you can get just one of those moments out, like you did it, you achieved a major milestone in like the human experience, right? If you can just get out one of these moments of perfect expression of whatever you're a master of, whatever you've spent your life doing, like Freddie Mercury singing on stage in 1981. I don't know. I've been super interested in like that and those ideas, and I just I guess all that to say, like, I want to find whatever that is for myself, and I hope everyone should want to find that for what that is. I just want to get one of those moments out as a human, you know, of just perfection, of just like you did it, you did it, you did whatever it is you do at its highest level, you know. That's the kind of shit I want to chase. But instead here I am financially ruined, dude. It's fucked. It's fucked up. And it's just so fun when you watch someone do it, dude. It's just like so like I've said a million times now. It's so compelling. The Chappelle Show, right? When they're doing these iconic sketches, the Charlie Murphy sketch, any of the Charlie Murphy sketches, just iconic. So many from that show. The early Chappelle stand-up specials were just iconic. Like they were just so like perfect. And I think maybe the guy, if we're talking comedy, who hit that higher than anyone I've ever seen, I think, was New Jersey legend Joey Diaz. I remember finding out about Joey Diaz via Joe Rogan, probably like most people. And, I was in college, like, 20 or whatever, and I'm sitting around with my buddies in like our like apartment dorm or common area or whatever. We're watching Joey Diaz, dude, and we can't fucking breathe. And he's killing it in a way where you're just like it's just so one after the other after the other after the other, and you just can't even breathe. You have no time to recover from what the fuck this guy is saying. It's just hammering you and hammering you. He's telling stories about how he stuck into a girl's room when he was growing up. He stuck into a girl's room and ate a vampire and escaped like a vampire in the night. I might have said vampire twice there. I don't know. I butchered the delivery. I'm sorry. Or when he telling a story about when he mugged a hooker and lit her wig on fire, dude. It's like the craziest shit you've ever heard, and it's just so fucking funny. And he has just this just like boundless charisma, as he's saying all this shit. It's the best, dude. It's the most compelling shit you can ever watch. When someone is in that zone, when they're in that flow, when they just have that thing, whatever it is they do. As I've said a million times now, it could be sport, it could be art, it could be music, it could be comedy, it could be anything. Athletics, I already said sport. Whatever. It's just kind of the best. And I guess maybe it speaks to like the old adage of like passion makes anything interesting. Like if someone just speaks really passionate or is really passionate about something, it becomes compelling to watch, right? Like there's so much shit I couldn't give. There's so much stuff I couldn't give two shits about that you just hear the right person talk about, and they're just so into it that it becomes cool to listen to. Or they speak so well on it that it with so well and with such passion that it makes you think you are interested in it, and then you go and read about it yourself, and you're like, oh, kind of like the Dostoevsky thing I mentioned in the last episode. It's cool when you hear someone speak about it, but then you read a little bit, and you're like, put me to sleep. You read a couple pages of the Brothers Karamazov, and you're just fucking bored out of your skull. Although I should finish that shit. Yeah, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. What else? That was 40 minutes of good cast right there. Good casting. Sometimes I do feel a little fraudulent because I feel like I do pull, like, even just that phrase, like casting. Like, that's a Shangulos Matt McCusker joint. They say that shit. Cooking up hot casts. And maybe that's just like kind of a product of having to find your own voice in this shit, right? Like you kind of have to kind of figure out your little things that you rely on to fill time, I guess. Yeah. Fuck. I don't know. I'm enjoying it though. It's kind of I think been a little therapeutic to just kind of ramble like this. I've done 3, two that I've actually posted. But I found sometimes I get in a mood where I would just like talk to myself. You know what I mean? Like a psycho walking around my apartment being like, bro, whatever, talking about whatever. Talking about probably what I just rambled about for the last 20 minutes, like that kind of shit. About passion and all that. And so having like an actual outlet where it's not just me speaking to an empty room is pretty fucking nice. Yeah, I think eventually I'll try and like find a someone to do this with regularly, but I think it's good practice in, I guess, to like I'm developing the podcast muscle, right? I feel like if you can kind of reliably exposit in the way I do, like the way I do, like I'm some sort of master. No, I'm a fucking idiot with a computer. I had no fucking editing skills, like I said. All right, I don't even know how to fucking like do this shit aside from just hit record and upload. But like a guy like Tim Dillon who can just go for he does an episode a week or an hour a week, right? And he does other podcasts like he guests on podcasts, but like to be able to exposit like that for over an hour and it be so entertaining and so fluent, I think is a very special skill. And I think it's something that you can really develop if you get good at doing solo podcasts, right? So I'm going to do this for a while solo and then maybe try and bring someone else in. Or maybe do like a rotating cast. Just bring like my friends in or something like that and go from there. Although I'm doing this half because I'm ready to get out of the corporate world. I know a bunch of my friends are in the corporate world, and if they're on camera saying fuck, who the fuck knows? That might cause them actual job issues. That's assuming anybody watches this shit. This is all very presumptuous of me. I'm just a fucking idiot wearing glasses at night, thinking anyone's gonna listen to this. Maybe they will. That's why I'm trying to post 3 times a week. I figure like I'm going from literally zero following, literally zero. I gotta get the algorithm working in my favor, and from what I understand, it likes posts, it likes consistent, and it likes creators that post consistently and often. So I'll probably even maybe try and start doing some like shorts or something of the pod, just to get clips out and kind of keep that rolling. I'm doing show notes again. I'm only 40 minutes in. I got another fucking 18 minutes to kill. 17 minutes now. Damn. Although, let's be honest, who the fuck's listening this far in? I'm learning. Yeah, dude. I gotta fly on Saturday now because my car's dead and I'm ruined. I don't have a real ID, so I think I'm just gonna go in there and battle TSA for like a couple hours. I don't know. It's kind of fucking weird, the whole real ID thing. Like, they're like, oh, well, we passed this 20-something years ago. And it's like, so? So fucking what? I didn't know that shit. How many people actually knew that shit? Real ID. So my old ID that I fucking renewed, like, that's actually what pisses me off, right? It's like, they've been like, oh, well, this was passed 20 years ago. Everyone knew this was coming. Well, it's like, well, yeah, and everyone has also renewed their license at the very least once since that shit was passed. So why wasn't everyone just given real IDs? What the fuck? Why weren't they giving out real IDs in 2017 when you got a license or something like that? It's so fucking frustrating. And then you go to the DMV here, and it's like it's a crapshoot if you're even gonna get helped. Apparently, like I know someone who went to the DMV, waited for like 4.5 hours, got to the desk, and they're like, oh yeah, we can't help you. We can't help you today if there's not enough time. And it's like they don't close for another hour. It's just like total incompetence all the way down. Ridiculous. I'm about to go in there, dude, and just read him the fucking riot act. The I'm a fucking taxpayer. You work for me. They're all gonna hate me, but fuck it, they probably already do hate me. Let's be honest. Anyone who works at the DMV hates everyone who comes in there. You know what I mean? Like that's a contemptuous position to be in society. They just fucking hate. So that'll be interesting. I may end up just not being able to go on vacation because I can't get out of the state. So that should be fun. Episode 2, already talking about vacations, dude. I'm grinding. I'm grinding out here, dude. We're doing 2 episodes. We're going on vacation. But I'll still broadcast. I'll still cast at night or something like that. Might be hammered. Probably be a better cast if I'm not slurring. Although I usually keep it together. So they say. They say I'm a fucking fed because even when I'm drunk, I keep it together. So stupid. Oh, God. What else we got, boys? What else do we got? My mind keeps going back to politics, but it's just because it's like the lowest hanging fruit, you know? And I feel like the political talk is like done. You know what I mean? Like it was the hottest thing there was, I feel, for a while. Like everyone was just like, because it's Trump, I guess, but like everyone would talk politics and they would do numbers online and everyone seemingly was interested or had opinions. But I feel like everyone, like, I'm certainly like politicsed out, you know? Like it's just all you hear. It's all you hear on. It's all you see on social media, and I get it. That's my algorithm, so it's just showing me what I watch. But it's just like it's the same shit. Like I said, man, it's just like we had a deal. They went back on the deal. Fuck them. But we have a deal again, even though they double crossed us the last time and the time before that and the time before that. So stupid. Nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever gets achieved. I don't know, man. We need the AI overlords to just take over and run this shit. Who's beeping out there? Not my car. Not Charlemagne. Charlemagne the Chevy. $9,000 on a fucking car I paid, I think, $7,000 for in 2022 or 21. I can't remember which. It's tough. It's tough scenes. It's a tough time out there. You have any car recommendations or recommendations for course of action so I'm not financially ruined? Much appreciated in the comments. What else we got, dude? What else do we have out here? See, this is where I'm like, man, do I just know like 4 things? You know what I mean? Do I just have 4 things in my head at all times? And I'm like, again, the arrogance of every podcast listener is like, oh, I can do a podcast. That's no problem. No problem, dude. I'd be a great podcaster. Joe Rogan should have me on. And then it's like, okay, do one. You sit down. You have nothing to talk about. Like, nothing to talk about. It's fucking crazy. It's hilarious, the arrogance of people like myself, I guess. Yeah, fucking A. What else has been going on? What else has been going on in my life? Nothing I could probably share specifically. Fuck. Sorry to anyone who made it this far. I'll get better. I feel like I had 40 hot minutes there. And it's just kind of slowed down drastically. But we're going to make it another 11 minutes. You know what I mean? We're going to make it another 11 minutes. What's something funny? Oh, I will say something that is funny, and it's politics adjacent, so forgive me. You know, I'm on social media a lot. I work remote, so, you know, you just fucking check your phone a lot sometimes. And it is funny to me that the right and the left do seem to unite over their hatred of Dave Portnoy. It's a newer thing, I'd say, since he had his little kind of blow up that went mega viral, where he was just like motherfucking his employee. They're just digging up every old clip he has ever had, just any bad look he's ever had. There's an old video of him doing like a combine or something like that, running, and he just looks awful. He just looks like fat and unathletic and short. It's tough. Sorry if I just burped. I couldn't help it. um, Tough though, and it's like, with everything, it's all over Israel. It seems like the only thing anyone ever talks about anymore. And I get his perspective on that video, right? Like he is Jewish. He's a prominent media figure. He had like shit go on at one of his own establishments, the bar, some sort of like anti-Semitic thing, or a bar he owns, I guess. Um, and so I get it. Like you probably feel like you gotta like come down hard on it because it's like if you don't, the vibe is like you're co-signing it. So it's kind of a lose lose for him in that situation. But and I get his whole deal and Barstool's whole like thing is like authenticity, right? Like just be like authentic in the moment. Don't like kind of hold anything back. Throw the insults. Say whatever you're gonna do. Say whatever you're gonna say rather. But the like, how many Jews have to die? It's like, dude, anyone could have told you that was not gonna be a good clip for him. You know what I mean? Anytime you're getting like emotional like that, the power dynamics are what they are. And granted, the guy who's yelling at Kirk, from what I have seen after the fact, is also a menace. Um, but it's just like you gotta know your spot, dude. Like you gotta know that every single like anti-Israel dude on the internet's gonna pick that apart for the rest of eternity, right? And so like the only half of the political spectrum that liked you now hates you, and so now you're just probably gonna be number one. Stuff. It's tough. I get his position, but it's like you gotta know your spots. You know, God, it would suck to get to a point where like everything you say gets like clipped and then used for like a political discussion. Like that's gotta suck. Like Joe Rogan has to be miserable. With that kind of shit. I mean, he lives a great life, obviously, but um, what a mindfuck though that is for like a guy like him, where I think he even mentioned it on an episode recently, where like you realize that like the thing that has always been like distributing information, i.e., the news, is like lying all the time. And then you look around and you're like, okay, how many shows out there can be a viable alternative in terms of size and reach to cable news? And it's like only yourself. You know what I mean? So it's just like, holy shit. It's like either being Joe, either I get the like other side out, or we just get lied to forever. Like the weight of that must be crazy, dude. And then you got every motherfucker commenting on how it should be done, right? Every again Douglas Murray or whomever being like, oh, nitpicking everything the guy does. It's like you're gonna fucking scare this guy out of the space, and maybe that's what they want ultimately. But I mean, let's be honest, man. Like, is it all great with him? Probably no, probably not. And it's not all great with anybody. But he's done a lot more good than bad. You know, a lot more. Let's just say truth has gotten out there because Joe Rogan was willing to have weird conversations with people who were kind of pushed to the fringe of the conversation, right? Like RFK, for example. Because before he had him on, I thought he was a fucking lunatic. I didn't know anything about him. I just heard like crazy guy RFK says X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh, what a crazy guy. How do I know he's crazy? They say it. Then you're talking, you're like, oh, this guy's like smart, clearly. I mean, he also has some weirdness about him. But at the same time, it's like, if looking at RFK, it's like, oh yeah, the government that you're trying to run has almost certainly killed like your entire family, and then like pushed you to the ultimate fringe, like conspiracy theorist, like threw every bad name at you in the book, and it's like, oh, you're not like a normal, well-adjusted guy. It's like, this guy has had the most like fucked up life in politics, in the history of politics. It's like, expect him to be normal. He's 70 years old. He does fucking steroids. Beast. When I'm fucking 45, if I'm still doing this, you'll notice when I get on the roids, boys. When I get a little tired, a little run down. I already have my kids, so I don't have to worry about having more. Boys, I'm getting on trend. Getting on trend. Getting huge. Getting a more puffy face than I have right now. I have a fat face right now, so it's just fat-ish. Kind of round. There will be signs that I got on the roids, and I can't wait for it. If it didn't like fuck up your ability to have kids, I think I'd probably fuck around with it. I'd try it, I'd do a cycle or two. But again, I want to have kids, so I can't do that yet. Gotta get some cream pies in, then I'm good. Just saying, I'm not. If I continue doing this podcast, it's gonna make me unhireable anywhere. So again, you boys are gonna have no choice but to just fucking listen to my shit. Help me out, cause I'm ruined financially. I don't know what else to talk about, boys. We have 3 more minutes. What else we got? What else can he say? Maybe I should start doing like a answering questions. I think I brought that up in the last podcast at the end. I dropped a lighter in my sink. Fuck. If ADHD, I got a fidget. Maybe I should start like kind of looking around on like Reddit or something like that, and just find like questions to respond to, or try to come up with like things to kind of spur. I don't want to say conversation because I'm just talking to myself, but I guess basically what I'm saying is I got to do better prep work, right? I had 40 good minutes there. I'd say it's a strong 40, dude. But this back 20's been a little rough, I'd say. So sorry for that. I will do better. I think I'm getting better at like kind of just going on about a topic, making it, I hope at least, a little interesting. But gotta have more in the tank for the episodes. Ran out of topics. Hit 4 things. Ran out of topics. Tough. But I will get better. Maybe this will be the fucking thing that I hit that like perfect note that I spent 15 minutes talking about. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll never find it. Who knows? But appreciate all you boys. Even if no one makes it to this point in the video, I'm going to keep trying to do this. I'm going to try to be as consistent as I can be. Because I need to. If this is ever going to work. If you guys are ever going to actually want to continually watch and stick through the episode, gotta fucking do it. So, yeah, I'll get better, and hopefully some of you will be on the ride from episode 1 to however long many of these I actually do. But I appreciate everybody who listens. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really need the help of the algorithm. Hopefully this video gets more views than the last. Yeah. Appreciate it, fellas. Like, comment, and subscribe. The Nobody's Watching podcast. Thanks, boys.